Episode 47 with Izzy Rositano on the 9 Point Start the Dream podcast.
Welcome to 9 Point Started with a Dream podcast. Our goal is to showcase the stories of athletes and the community that supports them by being authentic about their journey. Here's your host, Jacoby Gillum.
Yo, welcome back to the podcast. I'm your host, as always, Jacoby Gillum. In this episode, we have Izzy Rositano out in Australia. And Izzy has no limits. Like, she canoes, she bobsleds, she does footy, Ninja Warrior, she even raps, and her energy is top notch. And what Izzy doing now is raising awareness for mental health. She's doing 3,128 push-ups in 21 days for Team Black Dog to raise awareness. And what that number represents is the number of lives that have been lost due to mental illness out in Australia. And for anyone that follows 9 Point, you know that we're really big on mental health and hoping that no one feels alone on their journey. So great story with her, inspiring person, and let's get to it. Izzy, the question that everyone that comes on is, when you're younger as an athlete, what's one of your bigger dreams or goals you want to achieve?
Well, I think when I first started to get really serious into sport, I just have massive dreams. Actually, I think in anything I do, I love to dream the absolute biggest and the absolute best, really. And then I don't mind if I fall a bit underneath that usually. For example, with sport, I really, really would love to go and win a gold medal at the Olympics. That's the absolute biggest dream out there. But at the end of the day, if I'm able to put on the green and gold and know that I've competed to the best ability that I can, then I'm happy with that.
Love it. So what about representing your country was like the thing you want to do?
I think what really motivated me and made me continue to like train, and a lot of people ask me, and I suppose I would have asked you as well, like a lot of people just generally ask athletes, like, why do you keep going back to training? And I think for me, it was because there's a large chunk of my life when I could not be physically active because I had 2 car accidents when I was quite young. So I was very sporty as a young kid, but then unfortunately I had 1 car accident, and then I was pretty immobile from that. But then just as I had recovered, I was had a bit of bad luck and was involved in another one, which was even worse. And then it was only when I was about 15 when I was able to actually be sporty again. So for about 7 years of my life, all I saw in school was everyone being involved in sports, and I wasn't able to. And I was just so inspired whenever I watched the Olympics, whenever I watched any athlete on TV or heard them speak on the radio. I was just so inspired by these people who dedicated their lives to sport. So I started training when I was about 15 in cross country. And then I moved to rowing, which I still have a massive passion for. But then I got drafted into canoe in 2015. And so for me, it was just all those years of not being able to participate in sport that really meant as soon as I had the opportunity to, nothing could stop me. I just wanted to be, I had 7 years where I couldn't be sporty. So all I wanted was to be sporty for those years. So I think that's what really
make up for lost times.
Yeah, I'm just making up for lost time, really. Yeah.
So those cars were they like leg injuries, arm injuries, kind of stuff that you kind of deal with that?
The first one was more kind of concussion and back neck. So I had whiplash from both. And the second one was really unfortunate because I had my backpack. I was on the way to school and I'd had my backpack directly in front of me. And the way it was meant that when we had the impact, that actually damaged my lower back. And, I look back on it now because I have studied a year of medicine, and I can see how that greatly impacted my development physically, and then also the mental aspect of not being able to, as I say, participate and join in your friends as everyone is sporty. It's actually quite a big thing. I look back now, like even just saying it now, I've never realized like it has been a huge influence on my life because sport is one of my biggest passions now. And it's such a big part of Australian culture to be involved in sports. So, I think if I hadn't have had those injuries, I don't know how involved in sport I'd be now.
That's a wild journey right there.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
So with you now, so what all you doing now? Because I was reading your bio, and I was like, hey, what is her main sport?
It's a big question that everyone's always asked me, and also since I started sport swapping about 2 years ago, I'd say. But also I've been told by, quite a few sports professionals, you need to pick one sport. You can't do too many. I don't know yet. That's the truth. I find it really hard because I started canoeing with my big dream, which was I wanted to go to the Olympics. I wanted to go to Tokyo 2020, and I wasn't scared of voicing my dreams. And that was the turning point for me. Was last year I got offered a place in medicine up here, and ended up moving up here, and there was no canoeing anywhere. So I was like, oof, you know, it was just a large quantity of circumstances made me step away from canoeing last year. Jumped into a bobsled, which was the best thing I've ever done. So much fun. And yeah, I guess aside from that, I've done footy and rugby. So what's my main sport? Oh, geez. It's canoeing at the moment. I'd say canoeing and bobsled.
Love that. Well, I mean, I think it's cool because I mean, it just means that you're an all around athlete. You know that you can, do multiple sports and still achieve the best level at them. So that's awesome that you can do all that.
Thanks so much. I guess it's kind of, I study a bit of sports management now, and I really feel like I wish people gave athletes the opportunity to pursue multiple sports. Like, obviously 3 would be a bit outrageous, but if you've got someone, for example, a 100-meter sprinter, and he's the best, like Usain Bolt, textbook example, and let's say he wants to do soccer, why not let him pursue both of those sports and give rise to a new generation of athletes that can be, great at 2 passions in life.
So we're going into now, and you got this push-up challenge.
Yeah.
I was on IG, and I was scrolling. I was like 3,128 push-ups. That's a lot.
Yep.
So what all is that? Can you tell us more about that?
Yeah, so basically it's 3,128 push-ups in 21 days, which is 150, around 150 each day. And it represents, unfortunately, each life of an Australian that we lost last year due to mental illness.
Mental illness, I think, is something that we don't talk about enough. It's just like there's like a stigma over it. That we don't want to talk about our mental health. So why for you was this important for you to kind of tackle?
Well, there's just been so many people I know, and even people very close to me, affected by mental illness. And I suppose why it was important for me to do it now was just a set of circumstances. Last year, while I was studying medicine, there were the most inhumane comments made by fellow medical students. It's actually mostly the reason that I've decided to take a leave of absence from medicine was these comments from fellow students who were, destined to become doctors one day. And, they were saying things like, and you can bleep this out, but, no one fucking cares about depression. Who gives a fuck if someone dies? Like, that sort of thing. And when I heard that, I can't explain. It actually really affected me because it just not destroyed, but it crushed my values that I'd spent so long trying to get into medical school. And when I heard that, and I saw the stigma that still lingers around mental illness, and even with some medical professionals, it's obviously not all. When I heard that, I thought I need to do a lot more than what I have already done. I've been with the Black Dog Institute working to raise awareness for mental health for a few years. But when I heard those comments, I thought I haven't done enough. I need to educate people. I want to raise awareness. It's something that really it's driven me. And so I guess with this push-up challenge, I'm so grateful for the people who've given me support. We've had so many generous donations and trying to reach $3,182. No, sorry, $28. To a dollar. But I guess that was probably the biggest thing. And this year I actually also hope I can do some educational talks as well. And I don't want to. It's not just going to be the push-up challenge. There's a change that needs to happen.
Oh, I'm with you on all that, because that's one reason why I started 9 Point this whole thing, because like I grew up like this athlete that wanted to go, I had all these big dreams, whatever. Then I tore my ACL, and I went through a lot of like anxiety and depression, because I was like, who am I now without sports? And I realized, I realized there is no place to really hear other athletes and what they're going through and how they overcame them. So I was like, let's make a place for this. And so what you're doing is awesome. That you're saying, it's okay to not be okay, and let's kind of find a way to make it. Let's kind of kill the stigma, in a sense.
Yeah. Thank you. Yeah, no, and I'm sorry to hear that, because that's one of the biggest things I think. I've spoken to even some of my teammates up here who, as soon as you get an injury, or as you say, you have to leave the sport, or something happens for athletes specifically, when you can't do your sport, it's like death to your identity. And I totally understand that. It's something which I guess people who aren't involved in sports don't understand, and that can make it so hard when you're going through that. So for me, last year when I had to stop canoeing, that was one of the lowest points in my life. 100%. Like you feel like you're dead. You just feel dead inside, because I can quite openly say I'm alive because of my sport, and I do truly live for my sport and my sporting dreams. That's just me. So when I wasn't able, when I had to stop, God, it was like don't even know. It's like, a giant comet came from outer space and hit me. A meteorite came down from the skies and smashed me down. That's how it felt. But then I went, and it led me to go and try bobsled, and that was just crazy, and that was just awesome. So I guess maybe I like to think that everything happens for a reason, and maybe there's a future for me in bobsled, because that sport is just on another level. I know I've tried it, and I can say I love it, and I want to go back. It's just I want to do a summer sport in between.
You can do it all.
Sure. I hope so.
So for these push-ups, how are you going about it? Like, how you training for them, and you're just going to just knock them out? Like, what's the game plan?
Well, I'm on day 7, actually. I've been doing them for 7 days. And actually, I've just done 950 in total. I did 50 before this call.
Knocking them out.
I just knocked them out. Yeah. But the first day, what I did was I did 150 in one round. So I did a set of 20, and then I went down to 10. And then because I hadn't even been training for this, I didn't do any practice beforehand, because I wanted to make it, if anything, more of a challenge. And I was so fatigued on that first day that I ended up dropping to sets of 5 push-ups. And it's amazing how it's changed, because now I'm doing roughly sets of 20, then sets of 10, sets of 15, and then 10, and I'm not going down to 5. So yeah, and now I am trying to spread it out a bit more. So I'll make sure I do 50 before I go to the gym, and then when I'm at the gym, I'll do the final 100. Although, actually, it was pretty funny. On day 3, I put up an Instagram poll, because I did 150 in the morning, and I said, should I do 300 today? And everyone said to do 300. So I did an extra set of 150 in the evening.
Like a boss.
Yeah, it was good fun. Good fun. The next day wasn't as much fun.
So what's your overall goal? Like through this whole, you said it's about more than just the push up. Like, what's your main mission through all of this?
It is. It's about much more than just a push up. I actually do think every single time I do these push ups, I'm thinking about the people who are affected by mental illness and have no support. I think about the people who I've lost due to mental illness, and I think about the people that friends of mine have lost. I think about all the people who are never able to speak and suffer in silence. And to me, I hope I can just raise awareness, and more importantly, I hope I raise support, because one of the biggest things I notice with people who message me, because I think even just because they know about the work I do, they feel comfortable to speak to me, which is fantastic. And I'll say now, I will always try and be there and always speak to anyone who needs it, over Instagram, over any way you can find me to contact me, just do it. If you need someone to speak to, I'll always be there. But one of the things I have noticed, and I've had a lot of suicidal people contact me, which is a huge amount of pressure, obviously, because you're talking to someone who said, I don't think I can hold on any longer. And I'm not a trained professional. And sometimes these people are overseas, and I can't call 000. I can't do anything like that. And one of the biggest things I've noticed with these people is they're at a point where there's no one who can speak to them, and there's no one who can understand them. And so for me, I hope that through what I do, I open up people's minds that they can be someone that, if their friend is suffering or a relative is suffering, they can be the person that person feels comfortable to speak to, because that is where we will save a lot of lives. And even raising positivity, like smiling to a random, like not in a creepy way, but you smile to someone you see in class or someone at the same uni as you, and you just smile and say, or maybe say, hey, how are you? That can actually save lives. And that's another message I really, really do want to get across, is just being kind can also save lives.
I'm with you on all that. Like, it's so true. Just one conversation. Just, hey, how's it going?
Yeah,
and
it's so true, isn't it?
And it's just like sometimes we get so caught up in our own world that we kind of think that it's all about us sometimes, and we forget about everybody else.
Yeah, that's some real talk. Yeah.
Boom, then fire.
Yeah.
So on your thing it says you rap. Do you rap, or is that just like a
I
fun
do
thing?
love to rap. No, I 100% do. Actually, today I went to a studio and met with a producer who seems really awesome, and he's totally on the same page as me in terms of what sound I'm trying to go for. So I'm super excited. I just want to get to work. I've actually got a large quantity of, I didn't realize this until last night. I'm going through all my material to kind of, get something together for this guy. And I've actually got so much music and so many lyrics written that I don't know. I never really knew that I had that much. So I hope I can just work bloody hard and get a good song out.
You got some fire?
Oh, I want to get some fire out for sure.
That's awesome. So the game plan is it just dependencies up, the push-ups up by the end of the month, or you're gonna do it a little bit earlier?
Yeah, so 21st of April I should be done.
April. Okay. Definitely. So if you have any videos, I'll share them on 9 Point. I think what you're doing is pretty dope, and I may try it out here for like the US Day one day.
Oh, do it! I'd love that. That'd be absolutely fantastic, and I'm sure all the Americans would get on it. You Americans are crazy.
You Australians are crazy, so it's like.
Nah, you guys are crazy. Yeah.
True. And I know there's like a donation page for it. What's the link for that?
Yeah, so the link is in my bio. It's on the Black Dog Institute fundraiser page. But yeah, I'll try and link it to you.
Perfect. So one last thing, Izzy. So what's next for you? So after the push-up challenge, what's something else that you're gonna kind of achieve?
I guess my next goal will be with my sport, and I want to well, there's so much things. There's so many things I really want to do, but I guess I want to take my sport to the next level. I want to take my performance to the next level, and I actually really want to get an EP out.
Okay. Get that mixtape out, shoot some fire.
Yeah, that's it. Oh, as soon as the mixtape comes out, you'll be the first person to hear it.
All right. I'll play it. I'll play it on all the channels.
Yeah. 9 Point it can debut on 9 Point.
Ooh, okay. You said it. You said it, not me. Well, Izzy, I appreciate you coming on. I know it's what 5:30 for you now. So.
Oh, thanks for having me.
Oh, definitely. I think what you're doing is awesome, just to help raise awareness for people that may be kind of scared to talk to themselves, So I think what you're doing is really powerful.
Thank you so much. Thank you. No, I really appreciate hearing that. I just hope that it does make a bit of a difference, and I'll keep going. I'll keep working at this and educating as many people as I can and raising awareness. That's what I'd love to do.
Awesome. Well, enjoy the rest of your night, and we'll talk soon.
Awesome. Cheers.
Yo, thanks for listening to this episode of the 9 Point Started With a Dream podcast. If you enjoyed this episode, please comment, share, leave a review. We would love to hear your thoughts. You can find more athlete-driven content at 9point.com. Till the next episode, you're only one opportunity away. Peace.